Elon Musk and Tesla just said, checkmate. Two massive developments here in regards to Tesla, folks, we got to get into and what this means for Tesla moving forward, why it's having such an impact on Tesla's stock price here. Huge things. I appreciate everybody joining me. As always, folks, thanks for being subscribed. By the way, pin comment down there. Free workshops I put together for you guys. One's for if you make less than $100,000 a year. One's if you make more than $100,000 a year. That's going to be pin comment down there, okay? So, obviously, another great day for Tesla here today. I'm up another 4.5% on this stock, and I'm like, what is going on? Like, how is this stock moving like this? It is absolutely incredible, right? I mean, it seems like day after day after day, the stock is up and up and up, right? It's now up 117% year to date. That's an incredible move. Like I don't even know how to describe that move. Like 117% in a year? Like if most stocks could do that in a decade, they would be happy. This stock has done it in less than 6 months. Like absolutely extraordinary what's going on here with Tesla. And that's not it. Look at after hours. After hours is moving more. It's up another 3.7% after hours, folks. The fact is Tesla is one of the hottest stocks in the entire stock market right now. In a market that has several different hot stocks. I think about Meta. I think about Nvidia. I think about Palantir. There's a lot of hot ones in this market. Well, I don't say there's a lot of hot ones. There's a few hot ones that are popular ones. And then everything else is actually not doing very good in this market. But dang, Tesla's pretty much taking the cake. Okay, so what's going on here in regards to Tesla? Okay, the first thing is very big. The second thing we'll get into might even be bigger for Tesla. And I'll run you the numbers and projections, and that's going to be pretty crazy, okay? So first thing up here that matters in a significant way is this. So Tesla stock hits 2023 high with $32,000 starting price for a Model 3. Tesla stock hit a 2023 high Thursday with all Model 3 vehicle trims now eligible for the full tax credit under the Inflation Reduction Act. While it remains unclear how the global EV giant accomplished this feat, the Model 3 now has a starting price of around $32,000. Oh my gosh, okay? What? Like you want to put Tesla's business model on the juice? This is putting Tesla's business model on the juice. And this has gotten so insane that even one of my favorite YouTubers out there, Mav, right? Even Mav, in last night's members only video, was basically saying that even he is having to get less bearish on Tesla now at this point in time. He actually sounds like I don't want to say he's going bullish on the stock, but he's basically saying it's hard to bet against Tesla anymore now at this point in time, because he was referring to this article, Tesla's Model 3 is now cheaper than Toyota's Camry in California. And that's one of the most bearish guys I've ever heard speak about Elon Musk or Tesla and kind of his thoughts around this over the years. And even he is like, it's not worth it, man. Don't even mess with this. When then starts happening, you realize something's going on with Tesla's business model fundamentally. It's just even making the bears and the shorts say, hell with this. This is not worth it. Get out of the way of this stock, okay? And it's fascinating because here's what's happened in the past, let's call it 5 or 6 years, okay? You go back to Tesla in 2018, the conversation around Tesla's just some niche automaker. They make super expensive cars for people with a lot of money, and that's it, okay? And in a matter of 5-6 years or so, right, the conversation has now shifted to Tesla has the best product in the market at the best price. And they're delivering the best value of any automaker in the world. And that's an incredibly different conversation in a matter of 5 or 6 years, right? But that's where things have gotten now at this point in time for Tesla. And I honestly don't see that changing anytime soon. At the end of the day, like when people go to buy a new car, I don't care if they're even thinking about EV. I think they're going to have to consider a Tesla first and foremost. It's absolutely incredible, right? Imagine in 3 years from now, imagine in 5 years from now, the conversation starts and ends with Tesla, not just in regards to EVs, but cars in general moving forward now, okay? Now, you look at a company like Lucid, and a lot of people look at this stock and they're like, could this be the next Tesla, right? Yeah, they're really expensive right now. They're seen as a niche player in the market, right? But maybe in 5 years, 6 years, they're going to be seen as a Tesla. They're going to have a great product that's super affordable and the masses are going to adopt it. Can they do it? No. The reason they can't do it is, one, they don't have Elon Musk leading the team. Two, they don't have the Tesla team leading the team that Tesla's had to pull off these products, right? They don't have Franz on their bench, unfortunately, for them. And the biggest component is Tesla didn't have to compete with Tesla. Lucid's having to compete with Tesla, which is going to make Lucid likely never be able to get to scale. It's just likely not going to happen because Tesla had no competition when it came to high-end EVs. Lucid has to compete directly with the Model S. They're going to have to compete directly with the Model X, and you just don't want to compete with Tesla on the high end or the low end. And so that's vicious. It's absolutely vicious for Lucid to try to compete against them. Rivian, will they make it? In my opinion, Rivian will make it through. Rivian will make it through because, one, they got the Amazon backing. Amazon's always going to order likely a lot of Rivian vehicles. Amazon's a huge investor in Rivian, and also Rivian has a differentiated business model. And I think what Rivian's doing is very intelligent. They decided to go after much more of like the Land Rover, Cadillac Escalade type customers with their SUV product. And then they were first to market with really a successful truck in the EV market, which is ingenious because there was nobody really competing there, right? Cybertruck's still coming down the pipe. That's going to be a competitive threat for Rivian, but I think Rivian's actually, they got their stuff together, unlike Lucid, in my personal opinion, okay? So that's kind of that, okay? Now, the second massive thing for Tesla, and this is really massive, I'll run you through some numbers and kind of, expand everybody's brain on how big this could be. Breaking at Tesla, CEO Elon Musk and GM CEO Mary Barra have reached an agreement for General Motors to adopt Tesla's North American charging standard and provide GM customers access to over 12,000 Tesla superchargers across the United States and Canada. Now, this is massive. I mean, when you're talking about GM, you're talking about one of the biggest auto manufacturers in the world, right? And they are saying, you know what? We're going to use Tesla's supercharger network. That's our best bet. Rather than try to build us out ourselves or do anything else, damn it, we're going to use them. They're the leaders in this market. We're going to use them. And this is massive because it comes just a week after Ford, right? Ford announced that they're going to use Tesla superchargers for their vehicles as well. So now at this point in time, you got two of the biggest automakers out there, certainly two of the biggest in the United States of America, GM and Ford, basically saying this. Who's to say every other major auto manufacturer is not going to use Tesla, right? They're all likely coming to use Tesla's supercharger network over the next several years. It's probably just going to be deal by deal by deal by deal. And this is massive, right? Because here's the thing, right? And I talk about this all the time, and I think it's the most underrated thing that people aren't looking at when they're thinking about Tesla stock. They're thinking about Model 3, they're thinking about Model Y, they're thinking about the cars. But the underrated thing with Tesla's business model is their services business, which is about, let's call it a $6 billion business today. I mean, the services business itself could be a 50, maybe $100 billion, if not bigger than that, business over time. And we're talking about before robotaxi opportunity. That's a whole other, growth level if you want to talk about those numbers, okay? The services number, this is a baby infant in Tesla's business model. And of course, as a percent, we'll see what happens with that over time because the automotive revenues are just so big and going to continue to get a lot bigger over the coming years. So as a percent, it might not move, but as a dollar amount, it's going to likely move substantially. This is going to be a laughable number compared to where this is. It's very similar to if you were thinking about Apple stock, I would say, 10, 15 years ago. Apple stock, you could look at it as, well, they just sell hardware devices, or you could look at it as, wow, there's a services business that's going to build into this behemoth, and it's going to become very impactful. And now services is the second most important business for Apple. Some would say it's actually the most important business now. iPhone still is the most important business for Apple, right? And then comes services. And I see it being that exact same way when it comes to good old Tesla my Tesla here, okay? Now, to do a little math around this, okay, there's roughly 40 million cars in the United States a day that fill up, okay? They go to the gas station to get gas, roughly, okay? It's hard to know the exact number, but that's the rough number, right? Now, you make about $1 profit per customer. That number can move around lower than that or higher than that. I know that's hard to think, like, wow, I fill up my tank, spend $50 or $100 or whatever, and they only make $1 off me. Gas stations have very small margins per gallon of gas sold, essentially. They could make as much as $3 or $4 from you if times are really good for them. And let's say you got a big tank. But most of the time, they're going to make about $1 off you, okay? So that means there's roughly about $40 million of profit made per day from gas stations just from selling gas, rough numbers, right? Now, if you go ahead and times that out by 365 days in a year, it's $14 billion plus of profit per year that gas stations are making, right? Just small, 5 cent, 10 cent, 15 cent, sometimes if times are great, 20 cents a gallon, they're making off you every time you go to gas up, right? Now, think about this for a moment. If all that money's being made there, is it impossible to imagine Tesla making a few $1 billion of profit per year from their supercharger network in a few years from now? I don't think so at all. Are they ever going to make $14 billion of profit per year? I'm not so convinced of that, right? Because a lot of people are going to supercharge from home versus obviously gas cars everybody has to go to the gas station. So I don't know about that. Could Tesla maybe make a little more profit than others? It's a potential, especially if they're talking about setting up more and more big supercharger stations that, let's say, run on solar, so they don't have to touch the grid for that. Well, then Tesla's making straight profit, right? They have to do obviously the CapEx to build that out, but then after that, if it's all solar powered, oh my gosh, well, it's all straight profit from there, right? So I don't think it's crazy at all to imagine that Tesla's making a few $1 billion of profit, not revenue. Revenue number will probably be a lot bigger than that, but a few $1 billion of profit per year just from this opportunity of the supercharger network as more and more of the automakers come on and more EVs are sold each year, right? And to give you some reference, Tesla's net income last year was $12 billion roughly. So if you're talking about an extra few $1 billion just from a supercharger network, it's very impactful in how you value this company. And keep in mind, that's year after year after year after year after year after year, right, of that profit rolling in. And all of a sudden, over a 10-year span, you rolled in an extra $20 billion, $30 billion, $40 billion, $50 billion of net income because of the supercharger network, right? Very impactful. Plus, let's also think about it. It's also great for branding. You got to go to the Tesla supercharger. You know what I mean? Like, psychologically, like, is there anything better for branding than that? That's absolutely phenomenal, right? Now, there's a worry for folks, and then we'll get into the next opportunity for Tesla I could see potentially coming here, okay? There's a worry for folks like myself that are Tesla customers currently, right? I own 2 Teslas. I got the Plaid and I got the Model X, right? And I'm sure some of you guys are Tesla customers out there, and you're thinking, oh man, all these GMs, all these Fords, and who knows, maybe VW and all these other auto manufacturers over time are going to be charging up at these Tesla superchargers. That's going to make them super packed and all this, right? My thought on that is I think it's going to be a lot better. And the reason being is now Tesla's going to have more incentive than ever to add more superchargers. Now, the more this is adopted, the technology, the more and more fast food places are like, hey, we got 50 spots. Why don't we use 2 or 3 or 4 of those for, putting a few Tesla superchargers in here, right? Starbucks, McDonald's, some of these big, huge companies, right, that have the ability to put a few spots in where, you could go in, grab some food, and supercharge while you're there. These are sorts of things I'm thinking about that could actually make it much better, right? Because a thing I can tell you as a Tesla customer, a lot of superchargers are not convenient at all. I'm at my Arizona house right now. Tesla superchargers are not convenient. In Vegas, a little more convenient because the city's a little smaller, but still not super convenient. I would love to have there should be a Tesla supercharger of some kind within 5 minutes of everywhere. In my opinion, that's probably where we're going to go over the next 10 years. And so if anything, I see this as being even a better competitive moat. And as this gets built out more and more, there's even a bigger moat for Tesla around this business model because you're just not going to be able to match it. It's going to be so unrealistic. You would have to spend tens of billions of dollars to try to match what Tesla's done with their supercharger network. And that's just, it's not feasible. It's not feasible financially, especially in a higher interest rate environment, right? So I think this is beautiful. This is beautiful, and it also does help EV adoption because the biggest thing is not everybody in the world is going to want to own a Tesla. That's just not the way it is, right? Even my most bullish case, I have 40 to 50% of vehicles sold in the United States of America being Teslas at the end of this decade. That's a very bullish call, right? But let's keep in mind that's 40 to 50%. So I mean, still 50 to 60% of people not going to buy a Tesla. They're going to want some sort of other EV out there. And so for those folks, one of the things that's held them back is where am I going to charge at, right? Well, that's not something us Tesla customers really have to even worry about. The only thing we worry about is sometimes it's not the most convenient locations, but there's always somewhere to charge. You go on a road trip anywhere in the United States of America, there's plenty of superchargers along the way, okay? Now, the next opportunity for Tesla, if they want to continue this thought process of expansion around selling things to other companies, okay? They could sell a lot of their battery technology and manufacture batteries for other folks. They could, do the motors. Like, there's a lot of different components that Tesla's honestly the best of breed at from their engineering teams that they could sell for nice profits to other EV manufacturers that just aren't going to be able to do this type of stuff that Tesla's been able to do. And so it's very possible Tesla could build out a business model there where it doesn't actually care. I mean, they would love you to buy a Tesla, but even if you bought any other EV, Tesla could have a million different ways to make money off that. And think about that for a moment, right? And that reminds me very similar to Samsung, because, a lot of people think about, at least back in the day, it was like Samsung versus Apple, right? This is specifically like 2013, 14, 15, 16, I'm thinking about, right? And then Apple just kind of won that battle. But every time you go to buy an iPhone, Samsung's almost always making money off that. And a lot of times Samsung has many different components in Apple products. And so you buy an Apple product, you buy an iPhone, but Samsung is really making money off the back end. And so, these are just things to think about in where Tesla could take their business model. So as a Tesla shareholder, I can tell you, I'm a very, very happy camper, and I'm very pleased with how things are transpiring here. So appreciate you guys joining me as always. Thanks so much, folks. Thanks for being subscribed to the channel. Once again, get my workshop. That's free workshop. That will be pinned comment down there. I made one for you guys that make less than $100K a year. I made one for you guys that make over $100,000 a year, investing tips in 2023 and beyond. That should be very helpful. That'll be pinned comment. Much love and have a great day.